Welcome to Good Morning Football. We're not afraid to try new things on our show. New games, new bits, why not? So we're going to play a new game that we are calling Take It to the Blank. Here's how it works, gentlemen. You have your whiteboards. They were sent to your house for Whiteboard Wednesday. So on those whiteboards, I want you guys to write a team, any of the 32. Our producers gave me a list of questions. They're just generic questions, and we're going to sort of just match them to the team that is on your whiteboard. Okay?
Okay.
Yep. Let's do it.
All right, Nate, you're going to go first. I have the list of questions. You tell me what team you want a question for.
How about this? The Houston Texans.
Okay, so the question for that team, or just for whatever team you were going to choose, is the biggest obstacle for that team to overcome in 2020 is what? Houston Texans.
Oh, it's DeAndre Hopkins. I feel like DeAndre has been a staple on that team, especially given the fact that Deshaun Watson is so young, and he always had his running mate. He always had his buddy. He always had, his Sean Kemp to his Gary Payton on the fast break. And now you have to figure out how that receiving group is going to respond. I know they have Cooks and Kenny Stills and Kiki Cutie and Randall Cobb. They have a bunch of guys that are really good wide receivers. Is this going to be a situation where it's no D-Hop, no problem? Or will they have trouble pulling together collectively the same type of production that D-Hop brought? I will say this. Let's not panic. If you're a Houston Texans fan, maybe this is good for the offense, because oftentimes when you have a guy as dominant as D-Hop, you want to force the ball to him, and rightfully so. Maybe there's a little bit more balance within this offense because you don't have that pure number one that demands the rock every single game.
Cooks has a lot of 1,000-yard seasons. I think he's got about 4. Awesome stuff, Nate. You guys can play along at home at GMFB. Who wants to go next? I say Peter. Peter, what team would you like a question for?
Go with the Pittsburgh Steelers, Kay. I feel like it's time to talk about the Steelers this offseason. Let's do it. I'm in on the Steelers.
Okay.
What question do you have for me?
I would like to know, or the producers rather would like to know, the surprise breakout player for that team this season. It's a crystal ball question, Triggs.
Okay, I like this. I'm going to give you a late-round running back out of the University of Maryland. This is a deep cut that they took in the draft. Anthony McFarland. McFarland is my guy. Running back out of Maryland, put up big numbers for the Terps, kind of slipped in the draft, but it could be a speed demon. One of these players at the Combine, a lot of people were whispering about, like, he could get day 1, day 2 buzz. He didn't go in day 1 or day 2, went in day 3. But the Steelers' offense is all going to hinge around Big Ben. But they always have that guy that no one heard of that makes a big play on a Sunday night game. Anthony McFarland out of Maryland, running back. Let's go. That's our surprise breakout player.
All right.
Love it. All right, Kyle, I'm trying to think of which team you're going to pick. Maybe the Bears. Who you got?
I'm going to do these guys. In the nation's capital. Give me the Washington Redskins. What do you got?
Okay, tell me this. Riddle me this, Batman. A successful 2020 season for that team would look like what? Paint me a picture.
Successful 2020 season for the Redskins would be, we have a segment on our show, and the question is, are the Redskins back? You hear that all the time about whether it's Miami football or Nebraska football or, Tiger Woods, you heard of. Is Tiger back? Are the Redskins back? Because I don't know if there's a team we've spoken about less in our 4-year run as a show than the Washington Redskins. Last year's team, the 2019 Case Keenum Redskins, are forever poof in a void. They will never be talked about again. They are a bottle rolling on the floor of the subway. It's just nothing. I don't even remember that team. If this team matters, is it Chase Young, and is it Haskins, and is it Riverboat Ron actually making them matter? Signature wins, beating Dallas in prime time, the Giants, whoever it may be. We all grew up, and the Redskins were really good. Are the Redskins back? Can they be the McRib this year? That's the successful mark this season.
McRib.
Kyle, didn't you see Coach Ron Rivera on our show coaching up Tahoe, the wide retriever? I mean, he's a pretty good coach.
Yes. Love Tahoe.
Kyle, you're amazing, Kyle. All right, Nate, pick a team, any team.
All right, I'll go with the Dallas Cowboys. The ratings always spike when we talk about these guys.
They do. Nate, for that team to silence their critics, they'll need to do what in 2020?
Oh, they're they're going to have to get to the NFC Championship game. I would say the Super Bowl, but I'm just being realistic. If they make it to the game right before and then end up losing, I think that kind of proves that the right talent on the roster with the right gameplay and the right coach is starting to work. Anything less is ridiculous. I mean, if they're a good team and they have a good regular season, but then they trail off at the end like we saw this past year, that's a terrible year. If they get into the playoffs and get beat in the wild card game, that's a terrible season. But if they make it to the NFC Championship game and fight their butts off, then they're one game away. It's the same thing that we're seeing with the Saints every single offseason. We're like, well, last year was pretty good. They did have a decent run with a great roster, so maybe they'll be back. We need to start having that question about the Cowboys. You know what? They got close. They got close to the big game. Maybe they'll be back, just like the McRib. Calvin got a new job.
Okay, McRib, you guys are making me hungry here in the morning. Triggs, I got nothing. What do you got? Pick a team, any team.
I would love a 7:30 a.m. McRib. I'll go with the Dolphins. What do you got with
Why
the Dolphins
not?
in honor of the late great Don Shula? What do we got?
Yes. Okay. I would like you to really picture yourself in the Zoom session, right? These guys are having their off-season workouts, their meetings, their virtual off-season. You're in the Dolphins Zoom sesh. What is the question that you'd want to ask everybody?
When is Tua going in? God, does anyone know? Coach, you know. You're up there in that box. You're down. Hey, Kyle Van Noy, thanks for joining our team. Landon Roberts, thanks for joining. We love you, expatriates. When's Tua going in? I think everyone's excited to see when Tua is healthy enough to play and also when he's going in. All love to Ryan Fitzpatrick, but when can we get this thing started? Tua Tunga Vailoa. When's he going in on Zoom?
I love your Zoom enthusiast, Peter Schrager. All right, Kyle, one more for you. Go.
Jets, Jets,
Oh, the Jets.
Jets,
Okay,
Jets.
Kyle.
What do you got?
The schedule release is coming out Thursday. You can watch all that go down on NFL Network. The one opponent you can't wait for that team to play in 2020 is who? Who do you want the Jets to play?
It's incredible. They pressed the pork to make it appear like ribs. It's a marvel in modern engineering. I'm going to say, you know what? The Jets are going to have a trip out west, and they're going to play the San Francisco 49ers. I look at Adam Gase, and there's sort of an East Coast, West Coast thing here. You know, out west, they've got that cute little BB Mac boy band with Cliff and Kyle and Sean. They're all bros, and they're all offensive geniuses. Wouldn't you love to see Gase walk in and be like, I don't know those dudes. I'll dunk their head in the toilet right now. I know a little offense. We're going to go out west and show how tough we are. I want to see Gase crash that Menudo party in California. Jets in San Francisco. I want to see how that goes.
Do you and Triggs have like a thing going on where you have to mention Menudo every day that you possibly can? Is there like some inside joke that I'm not privy to? No?
No, just a rotating
Yes, Menudo
cast
has
of
to be
members.
mentioned, and Peter is just sucking down Shamrock Shakes. I know it.
Big Menudo show.
More Good Morning Football on the way. No, Peter's popping the champagne because it's schedule release week. You can